What's up, people? We're back. I guess we're back. Guess I've been hiding it behind the curtain long enough. So yeah, it has been a while. I don't know when the last time I did a stream was. Let's see. Let's check the YouTube channel here. Hey, Sirkin, what's up? How are you? Let's see. Last stream. No, it can't be that one. Okay, 4 months ago, looks like. 4 months ago was the last NGRX and Chill. So it looks like anyway by YouTube stats. I think that was the last time I did a multi-stream anyway, so sounds about right. But yeah, I am trying to pick it back up again because I like streaming and like hanging out with the folks. So we'll see if we can keep it rolling this time. Be more consistent about it. Consistency is the key, I think. Y'all can let me know otherwise. Anyway, thanks for those who are in the chat already. But yeah, probably just gonna do some catch up today. Hey, Will Johnson, what's up? How have you been? Okay, I got too many screens looking at me here. Let's see. Change this to just chat. Guess I have to get some of this back up the way I had it before. So let's see. Open in browser. There we go. I think that's what I'm looking for. It's got OBS looking at me and then Restream looking at me too. So we'll see if we can just dial it down to that. Turn that back on. Gotta fiddle with the stream some. It wouldn't be a stream if I didn't fiddle with the stream while I'm on stream, because that's what we do. But I think we're good there. So yeah, if you're in the chat, let me know what's up. Let me know how you been. Okay, got that one too. Close that. So we'll see. All right. I think that's enough of maybe enough of the monologuing for now, but we'll get right into it. Let's close this. Eventually, I'm gonna, since I haven't done this in a while, I have to get my alerts and stuff back set up. But at least I got the music going, so there's that. Let me know if it's too loud or not too loud, and we'll see. But yeah, mainly gonna try to catch up on some open source stuff. Do the open source work before you do the open source work, because that's how it goes. So yeah, let's get right into it. I check on NGRX stuff anyway, whether I'm on stream or not. So, but I will take a look here. I think there's some couple other projects that I want to, or issues that I at least want to check on in other projects and things. So, do some of that too. Let's see. I think we're good on pull requests for here. Josh, JVA, what's up? Yes, I'm actually streaming on both because I can. But we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm back on Restream, so broadcasting in two places, and I still get the. At least I have a chat that shows messages from both now. So until I, of course, go down the rabbit hole of trying to uh, rebuild the thing because Restream actually has an API that you can use to hook into messages and things. So that way I can do something custom if I wanted to. But I'm just using their chat overlay for now to get the the friction out of the way, if you will. So that way I can have some chat up there and from both streams and still have it look presentable on stream. So there's that. But yeah, how's your week been? And when are you gonna start? When's your next stream? I know you said earlier in the week you were gonna start streaming again, so let me know how that goes. Let's see. It is 8:18 a.m. here. Friday morning, that is. Yes, it is early. I've been up early already, so I'm taking like a morning break to get some streaming in. 3 p.m. Your day's like over. Your day's almost over, and mine is just beginning, but it's cool. Are you gonna hack on anything this weekend, Sirkin? Josh says, week has been crazy, just things going in work and outside of work. Next stream will likely be tomorrow. Okay, cool. You're gonna stream some more Minecraft, or are you doing something else?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Will I what?
What? Google? No, don't want to talk to you right now, but thanks.
The mic's off.
Yes. Google doesn't want to listen to me stream also. Yeah, okay, let's see. Where was I? Minecraft for now while I build a backlog of ideas for dev. I see. I have a lot of ideas also that I may or may not do. And I may start one of those today because I want to at least continue hacking on it and see where it goes. So we'll see. Mike, what's up? How are you? Let's see. Probably be a bunch of warnings. Examples updated to. I'm doing good, Mike. But thanks. What if Minecraft was the platform to build a blockchain? Josh, you are throwing all the buzzwords out, and I don't know what to do with that. So you're gonna have to explain what those things together mean for other folks to understand, including myself. Okay, let's see. Schematics to create main reducer file. Okay, I think I've looked over these already. Stack blitz links. Cool. We may come back to that one. Let's check some other open source projects here. Issues. Somebody put in a PR for this one? No. Deprecation error in Jasmine Marbles. kind of thing based on what Mike said during my stream. Okay, I must have missed that one. Um, but hey, if you want to build it, I will watch. So we'll see. As long as you have Minecraft as a DAO and have smart contracts to verify NFTs, you'll blow gas. Blow gas? Blow gas? Yeah, it's supposed to be blow. But that was a lot of words also. As you can see, I don't know much about DAOs and smart contracts and NFTs outside of just what I see coming past me on Twitter. So stonks. There you go. Yeah. Well, yeah, I kind of got that. You basically threw the kitchen sink in there. So you can just target. For the PR. Okay, so we got that. Pull request. Let's look at this one. Expected and received data structures. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. JSON stringify. Doesn't support enhanced data types like map, set, except when using a replacer. This has been open for a while, but I'm not sure how much it'll actually change the output just yet. Provide, what am I thinking? You provide a snippet of what the changes. Oops, not a bug. Now I'm thinking, what would you have to do to make Minecraft a thing that mints coins or establishes a blockchain? Like each block in a world in NFT. Okay, now you're just going off the deep end now. Think. You're just going off the deep end now. Yes, gone full crypto on the stream. But yeah, what else is new? I know that if you've written a blog post or something, let's check. We might as well check Twitter while we're here. And I'm not going to dive into my DMs. Notifications. Oh, I am going to plug the Twitter space that's happening later today, though. Let's see. My mentions have been on fire this week, but that's okay. Here it is. Can I share? Okay, there we go. Make sure you check out that Twitter space later. Because we're going to be talking about Angular and AngularJS, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to pop in there at some point. Yeah, things at the new job are good, really good. You know, it's always that period when you start a new thing and you're trying to get comfortable and um, comfortable with the new people and new environments and everything. But it's been really good. A lot of cool people, nice people, and they like to sling a lot of memes around. So, so I definitely can't be mad at that. I think my first post in the Discord was a meme. So, and it was met with many other memes. So there you go. But yeah, like I said, pretty cool. Like I said, get to keep working in open source. I know, right? If you can't sling memes, then are you even working? If you can't sling memes in the chat, I mean, really, that's how it goes. There are dedicated channels for those sort of things. So we'll see. Okay, let's go back to here. Let's open up one of the side project things we have here. Let's see. Let's open up some. I'll open up some stuff I've been hacking on, and then see, remix. Oh, this version. Okay. Thanks for that. I talked about this on Twitter some, but I've been hacking around with Remix. I really like Remix, by the way. And they said they're going to make it framework agnostic, which I think is pretty cool also. But I have been trying to get this working to some degree with Angular, and I will show some of that here. But essentially, it hooks into the same places that Remix does as far as server rendering. And I'm trying to think what version of Angular. Okay, I'll start this out with multiple caveats, and I'm going to switch to this one just so you know I'm serious. Do not, even if I for some reason, throw this up on GitHub, do not use this. Okay, it is filled with dragons and terrible things. Okay, cool. All right, we're back. But yes, this is no. Well, okay. So you probably could, but it's just like a thin layer on. No, do not ship this to production. This is more or less a thin layer around Remix that uses their routing structure. So as you can see, I kind of have a sort of scam approach here. I have a default ng module exported here. So there's that part of it. Because you can export things as defaults. You can export modules as defaults now and actually use them in routes. So it happens in two parts. You have the Remix side of things where where's my Remix config? So Remix looks in this directory for this application directory for a routes folder. And inside of here, you can define your file-based routes for Remix. And then it will build kind of a manifest based on these routes. Build a manifest based on these routes, and that gives you routing, basically routing on both sides. So it builds that manifest, and then that manifest is available to the front on the server and to the front end app. So that's how they kind of connect those two things together. And what I did was I looked at how they collect the page routes for Remix, and I did some tweaking there to generate that, um, generate those routes, and then I turned around and turned that into a route definition for Angular routes. So I don't. Let's see if I'm trying to think if I Angular. Where's my Angular JSON here? Trying to think if I had both of these. Serve SSR. But yes, what I essentially did was make a script that listens to routes that you create within this routes folder, and it will generate. This is just to start with, generate this routes file here, and since I can use defaults for exports, then it knows what those defaults are for building up the routes that Angular needs. And the other side of that is you can use loaders in here, and that data will be provided to the Angular app. But like I said, this is something I've been sort of hacking on to try to get that working. So let's see. So yeah, there's that. This is just, like I said, just a local thing that I've been working on. But let's see if I can at least get it up and running here. See if that. No, it still works because I just tried it recently. Mortal XXX, what's up? This is. Well, I am just kind of live streaming, catching up on live streaming. The thing that I'm working on right now is just a side project with Remix and Angular, using Remix. Sorry, to be more specific, using Remix infrastructure on an Angular project that's kind of using that in place of the Express server for SSR. So let's see. This is 2 parts, I think. Okay, I will come back to that one in a second. But let's see. Okay. npm run watch, and that just builds the Angular side of things in this public folder, which Remix looks for that side of things. And the reason why this is not on Angular version 13 is because Angular version 13 uses CommonJS, or sorry, Angular version 13 uses ESM only, and Remix still requires that you use CommonJS for the build that's generated. And I don't think it'll show it here, but if we go to Remix run, let's see where I want to look. I think it's Remix serve. Like I said, take all this with a grain of salt because they are looking at making Remix framework agnostic at some point to be able to use with just about anything. Okay, that's the one I just went to. Remix Dev. I think it's under here, CLI. The one that you get when you just run Remix is CLI commands. You just get the Remix dev server, or app server they call it, I guess. And it uses the build and uses the build directory, or requires the build directory. I guess long story short, it uses requires to bring in your application build. Hey, what's up, Corbin? Yeah, sort of. I was actually showing off my terrible hack project, which is using Remix infrastructure with Angular. And I was trying to see if I can get this up and running to at least show. So npm run. Yes, ng remix. Like I said, Terra, it's just a side project at this point, but I thought it'd be cool to try. Remix dev. Okay. So how it works, at least, if no, I haven't spoken to them because this is more, I know they've said publicly that they're going to support other frameworks, and this is more, this would be a step in that direction, but I think they could probably have other things to focus on right now, so I'm not trying to bring much attention to it. But at least how I understand how Remix works is the Remix config looks at your app directory for routes and builds these two directories for the dist file and serves your app on this port. And then they have these entry files that you can configure here. I'm just using the defaults. So entry client, I'm just bootstrapping the Angular app like normal, and entry server, which I put this part in here because I'm using basically using Angular Universal on the server side to render the initial app, and then it will of course hydrate the app on the client side. It doesn't have all the special Remix flavor, but at least you can see that that part will work. So so let's see. So if I bring up localhost 3000, I know like this is a whole lot, very interesting to see, but we have a home page. Is there any special sauce required to make their form magic work? Yes, there actually is some, well, it's open source, so it's not a secret, but it does do something special in that way. Because I tried to just throw, my app at this also, and it didn't work like I expected. But if you go into the Remix packages and Remix React, so it does work in that when you submit a form, it does post to the Remix server, but it's not doing a full page reload. And they talked about this, I think, also. They're just they're capturing the form data and using fetch. They're using fetch to make a post, and then they kind of handle that. They handle that on the server and like send it back to the client. People to pay you to do audiobooks. Thanks, I guess. But yes, if you look at I've dug into this also somewhat to try to see how this works, but they have the form component, and what that form component does is, of course, it captures that if you disable use or reload page, then it'll do the prevent default stuff for you, and then submit that to the server, and then somehow their transition manager brings that back to the client app, which is pretty cool. So because that's at least how I understand it to work at a high level. Introducing a compiler to replace that in. You have to import their form component, yes, specifically. But I think this is the kind of the key part here. It'll submit that through this transition manager, and the transition manager knows how to update the state on the client side, so that way you're not doing like a full server reload. They're just like bringing the data back and then sending it back through the React cycle. So yeah, that, because I was, like I said, I was trying to do the same thing, and I was like, will this actually just work if I submit a form? But it didn't work the way I expected. And as like I said, that's because they're doing some stuff under the hood. They are using traditional form methods and posts, but there is a little bit of sauce underneath that it's handling, so, which is pretty cool. And I don't see why you couldn't do the same thing and this is against the part where I think I think it could be made framework agnostic. I don't see any reason why you couldn't do that in other frameworks, like have some kind of form component, or at least hook into this some kind of way. But I think the transition manager is like the key, the thing that kind of drives that that whole area. So but yeah, like I said, I really like it because it feels like PHP and React kind of had a baby, and so you get a little bit of both. You get to bring your server really close to the app itself, which is what what PHP's kind of sweet spot is. So that's why I like it. So I'm looking forward to hacking on it some more. But yes, this is home, and let's see. Let me go back to, let's see all of what I have in here. I think I only got a couple of, well, I think I have a few routes in here actually. About, dashboard, products. So if I go to products, whole thing just reminds me of building PHP sites a couple of years back. Yeah, it's been, I started out in PHP as far as like professional work. As far as my first professional job was PHP, and so yeah, it kind of takes some of those things. It takes some things that are old, some things that are new, and like makes it really nice to use those things. Where you kind of mix your server and your app together. Like I said, all this stuff all this works just like a normal Angular app does, and like I said, Remix handles the initial load and everything on it. So I'll refresh this. And the cool part about it is, like I said, the loaders and things work. So I have a loader here for this page for product ID, and let's see, where am I? Products. Okay, show that part. We have the products page, and for the product, I have a loader here, and this is, like I said, standard remix stuff here. I'm not bringing in any of the remix imports because I think that brings in JSX and causes other things to, then the build starts to blow up because it's trying to bring that in. So that's why I'm not using that. But if I bring in the tools here and I look at the loader for, I have a loader here for test. And like I said, I have wired some of this up. And this is also part of, I'm not giving away their sauce, but how another part of how Remix like communicates between the server and the client is that they put some things on the window, and then the Remix components on the client side pick that up and pass it to the components themselves, or at least the Remix browser component. And one of those things is this Remix context, and it has a bunch of information on it that they can use on the client side for knowing which routes go where. And part of that also is the this information here. So if I log this, then you can see global, where are my underscores? Okay, so this Remix context, it has the matches that were used for this route. Like a lot of the state that they use, these catch boundaries and things that they talk about, route data. You can see the route data for that particular route. So that's where that test true came. This actually came from the loader. And then you can access that on the client side. So yeah, it handles the routes for you, gives you all that information, because they collect, since they know all the routes on the server side, they can build all that stuff in advance, which I think is pretty cool. Which I think Next.js and like other things like Astro with file-based routing do this also, which is kind of why I want file-based routing in Angular. But yeah, you bring up a good question, Corbin, of how that'll work with Angular, because everything's so like everything's so client based. So, and I don't have a good idea for this yet either, but because you have to do so much like configuration for the Angular router, like in code, that if you're going to do this, I think if you're going to do it, then you have to have something that maybe kind of mixes those two things together. And that's kind of how I landed on generating, like listening to this, or using this script. So so I have let's see, I had a NodeMon script in here that listen to this, runs this page routes script. Let's see, page. NodeMon help. Nope. Okay. Do I not have it running here? PX. PX NodeMon. TS node. But what I'm trying to do here, at least show here really quickly, is how to watch this directory for TypeScript files and then run TS node NodeMon page routes TS node not found. Okay. I had a branch with this already on it. Page routes. Okay, all right, add, yes. Node mon. But yeah, the I think you could do it with Angular. I think that, well, the CommonJS ESM part aside, I think you could do it with Angular, but once you start trying to add guards and stuff, then like trying to pick that up from the command line, or trying to pick that up from configuration, you might as well just be adding more stuff in there. So, or you're adding more complexity, I think, as far as being able to determine what routes need. Because if we're just talking about generating paths and load children and children for these routes, then that part's relatively straightforward. But then for guards and now page titles and things, trying to put all that stuff in a route, it's going to be like, why am I doing this? Maybe, unless you have something like function route. I'm just thinking out loud here at the moment. And maybe this returns promise of a route. So this would have like a path, products, can activate, those sort of things. And then it kind of takes this, like inspects this, and builds the route thing for you. So what about a class level decorator like it is in Next.js? That might work. We'd have to get into some like AST stuff for that, but it could work though. I think that's an option. But it all, like I said, it all depends on how much of the Angular router you actually want. If you want to keep the Angular router, if we wanted to have something like this for Angular, would you want to use the Angular router for that, or would you want something a little more like lightweight, to where you just define routes and it's more component based? So yeah, I think so too, because at least with Remix you don't have to like think about the router. Yeah, I like the router too. Yeah, I'll put that out there up front. But with Remix, like, you don't have to think about the router. Like, you have your pages and things. You can use the router when you need it. Ryan was saying that Remix is more like React Router version Infinity. Yes, it is. And that's why I like it, because I like routers. Remix is like, if the router could control the framework, this is kind of what you get, because the router on the server side controls all the loading and stuff. And then the router on the client side is kind of transparent. It just like kind of works. So which that part of it I really like. But yes, like I said, I would like to see something a little more lightweight, because like I think the use case is different. What I'm aiming at is a more lightweight thing around Angular. I find the style of routing interesting too. Sort of fun working with Razor pages. Similar approach from Dev's perspective. Yep. Because in Remix, like, you don't, besides the outlet, unless you want to use the router like programmatically, you don't have to. You can just use like the link, use the components and things to navigate around, and it has enough awareness on the server and the client side to figure those things out, which is really cool. As you can see, I'm kind of smitten with, if I haven't said that already, I'm kind of smitten with Remix. Hey Corbin, thanks. Cool. Thanks for coming through. I'm probably about to wrap it up here soon also. I'm just trying to get back on the wagon, and we'll see how it goes from here. So but yeah, thanks for coming through. See, I will save that just because it's not going to do anything. And okay, so let's try this. And because this should work. So if I go in here and create hello.ts, I'm going to copy some of this. App hello. As you can see, I'm not touching the router itself. Hello. Let's change all these things to hello. Hello component. And this part will, with standalone components, these two things will be kind of mixed together. So I'll just have to do the component part of this, but at least for this exercise, I just have the hello part. So okay, so this is TS node. Okay, so that did that part, and if it worked like I expect it to, let's see, no, routes, hello.ts, starting TS node. Okay, I don't think I have my watch working here correctly. Don't mind. Help. Okay. Watch. If I watch, what I want to do is watch the routes directory and then execute this. Okay, so that looks like it worked that time. I'm just noticing this seems to be a scam. That's right, this is a scam, because scams are the way to go. But as you can see, my page routes script here generated this hello component here, and now I can just go to it. Oh no, page not found. Let's see, routes hello. What did I do wrong? 404. Did I save? Oh, let's see. I think, let's see if my Angular thing is app routing. Okay, I had an error, so that's why I didn't do anything. Router. Okay, let's restart this. See if it picks it up this time. Oh, NGCC. See, I'm on an older version of Angular, so now we got that part of things. All right, let's try this again. This should work because the route is there now. What? Oh, the demos have gotten me again. Let's see. RF cache. Build watch. Oh, I think I know why it's not working also. There we go. Have to do the hard refresh there. Building heavily into idea of scams, always have this small mental conflict to where declare reusable components in terms of modules. Yeah, it is nice, and I want it now. Just kidding, but yes, as soon as possible, as soon as feasibly possible, anyway. Okay, so let's try this again. Um, so if I change this to hello world, no, and let it regenerate my file here. Let's see. Let's save this again. I guess I'm not gonna pick up new files. Starting. Oh, okay, put it up here. Hello world. So if I go here to hello world, something blow up. Where are we? Okay, that's good. Oh, that blew up. I guess you can't change files on the fly. Hello world. And there's my route. So this is my remix Angular thing smashed together that I would like to see become a little more stable and predictable. Because I guess the other part is, if you render the loader data, and I'm gonna wrap this up here soon. If you render the loader data, then the way at least Angular apps work, there isn't a way to like refresh that once it's declared on the window. So you have to have some kind of server interaction there, and that's kind of the stuff that Remix handles in React for you, but doesn't handle in Angular. So, like I said, still some more work needs to be done there, but I think you get the idea of kind of how that works, or how at least my mind thinks about it, and where I like to see it go. And maybe even if maybe it could be like kind of like how React router is. It could be the Angular router underneath, but we handle all the like the mechanics of the setting up routes and things like that for you, and then you kind of get that experience. So if you ever need to just use Angular router, you can just inject it and navigate around like normal. So and you kind of maybe get the best of both. So yeah, that's where I'm at on Angular and Remix, and where I like to see it go. So we'll see how I'm going to work on it some more, try to see what we can do. Maybe I'll push it up on GitHub sometime, but we'll see. But yes, I think it is about that time to call this one. Why is my overlay? I don't need it to restart. No, I guess my things have already been there. But cool. I think we're gonna wrap this one up. Thanks for all of you who came through on the chat. Looks like we had most of my chats come from Twitch, of course. So, which is cool either way. We're gonna keep streaming on both for now. But yeah, if this time is, you don't have to, you can respond on Twitter or whatever. If this time is good, then I'll maybe do this one again. But most thing I'm looking for is just trying to find a consistent time to do it. So early may work, later may work. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for coming through, and let's see if I can find someone to raid so we can do the raid thing. I don't know if anybody's online at the moment. Okay, that's muted. White Panther's on. Coded Live is on. Let's see if I can get this working correctly. Let's go to the chat here. Video producer. Where's our stream manager? I forgot how to spell name already. So we're gonna see if copying will work. And we're going to give White Panther a raid. I don't know how much longer she's going to be streaming, but we'll roll with that. Cool. Thanks y'all for coming through, and I will see you in the next one.